Hey everyone, my name is Allie and welcome to my channel. So in honor of The Rise of Skywalker being released into theaters and me having seen it twice and being destroyed both times emotionally, physically, spiritually destroyed, I figured that I would recommend some books for anyone else who's feeling this way to kind of recover from that experience. So I feel like whether you liked what happened in The Rise of Skywalker or you didn't like what happened, then you might enjoy any of these 5 books. The first one is a good one, I feel like, for Reylo shippers specifically, and that is Shatter Me by Tahada Mafi. I know it's an old book, I know it's a little cringy, I know it's a little cheesy, whatever, but I do feel like this is a perfect book to read after watching The Rise of Skywalker, and you need something a little bit different. You kind of need like the hate to love to end up in a more interesting way. I feel like Shatter Me is like the perfect idea, especially the entire series. Not necessarily the last 3, but the first 3 are definitely ones that you're going to want to read. Stop after Ignite Me, that's it. That's all you need to read. I mean, unless you really, really love the series, read the next few ones. But stop at Ignite Me. It's just the best book of the series. It all goes downhill from there. You're not going to get any better than Ignite Me, so just stop while you're ahead. But Shatter Me, Unravel Me, and Ignite Me are perfect for getting over The Rise of Skywalker, especially if you're a Reylo. And if somehow you don't know what Shatter Me is about, which is kind of like amazing, I wish I could be you so I could reread the series like for the first time. But basically, Shatter Me is about Juliet, and she has these incredible powers, and she has been locked up because of these powers because she is seen as a dangerous person. And her powers are that when she touches someone, they experience extreme pain and die. So she's locked up for that reason, and then in comes Warner, and he wants to use her as a weapon. And they kind of have this very antagonistic relationship, but things start to blossom and get a little bit more interesting as the series progresses, so I definitely recommend this book. The next book is one that I feel like is criminally underrated, and that is Bring Me Their Hearts by Sarah Wolf. And I know I talk about this book a lot on my channel. I love it to death. It's like one of my favorite books ever, but it's my favorite for a reason. And it's basically because the main character, Zara, is a heartless, which means that she is immortal, that a witch owns her heart, and that she is basically like a zombie sort of character, and she experiences life differently. So Zara is tasked with kind of pursuing the prince, getting him to fall in love with her, and then stealing his heart to bring back to her witch to kind of trade his heart for hers. And she ends up getting into this, and it gets complicated and feelings get involved, and there's some really interesting plays between morality and mortality and just all of these different really interesting topics. And I think it all does it really, really well. And I love Zara as a main character. She's spunky, she's funny, she's fiery, and she is able to really stand up for herself. And something I love is the last line of this like little summary, and it says, "So begins a game of cat and mouse between a girl with nothing to lose and a boy who has it all. Winner takes the loser's heart, literally." And I feel like this book is perfect for people who are getting over The Rise of Skywalker and are looking for a book with a powerful female main character, with a couple kind of really butting heads, and with a lot of political intrigue done really, really well. So if you haven't heard of this book, if you've never read it, pick it up, try it out, and hopefully it'll do you really well for getting over The Rise of Skywalker. The next book is one that I feel like if any of these books are gonna work, it's going to be this one. Like, this is the surefire answer to a hangover from that movie, and it is Darken by Kiersten White. It is literally the perfect book for The Rise of Skywalker, for really the entire sequel trilogy. I think this book really, really works well, and it kind of follows a similar pattern for the trilogy, but it does it really, really well. And Darken is basically a historical retelling of Vlad the Impaler, where Vlad the Impaler is actually Lada, and she's basically on a quest to get her homeland back, and I love her so much. It really is a villain origin story. So if you were looking for something kind of like a dark villain Rey, then I feel like this is like exactly what you're looking for. This would be like villain Rey. And I love Lada. She's just like the perfect main character. She's so badass. She's ruthless. She's bloodthirsty. And she is willing to kill anyone, go to any length to get what she wants, which I love. And it's such a fun character to read because she is so ruthless. And she's not like the typical sword-wielding heroine, which is fine. But she is just so bloody and dark and villainous, and she's just so awesome. I love her so much. This is one of my all-time favorite series, and I feel like it is so perfect for The Rise of Skywalker. If you didn't get that dark Rey that you wanted, this is it. This is your answer. The next book might seem a little bit weird, but that is Hamlet from William Shakespeare. And I chose this one mainly because it has a lot of really interesting characterization and character arcs. And I feel like some people felt The Rise of Skywalker was really lacking in character arcs and characterization. And I feel like if you were missing that in that movie, you're really going to find it in Hamlet. Hamlet is just one of the best stories when it comes to the development of characters and showing characters go from point A to point B in such like an interesting and intricate way. And I feel like Hamlet as a main character is a really good character study for like showing how someone goes from this really dark place to madness to pulling at the strings of what's going on, trying to find out what's happening, and finally coming to like this realization and having to go through with it. There's a lot of family and political intrigue, and there's also a lot of death. And I feel like it'd be perfect if you're the kind of person who felt like The Rise of Skywalker was really lacking in characterization, plot, stuff like that. If you're really looking for something that's really sharp and clean, you're gonna want Hamlet. This is like the perfect story for you, and I feel like it's really going to give you what The Rise of Skywalker didn't. And then the last book on this list is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo, and I mainly put this book on here because of the main character, Alex. I feel like she is definitely kind of like that light and dark side of Rey, and she's really living in that gray area of being an anti-hero, and I feel like that's what a lot of people wanted from Rey, was to be sort of an anti-hero or someone who was going to turn to the dark side. And I feel like that's perfect for Alex because she definitely has those moments of being good and being evil and living as a very nuanced character within a world that definitely wants you to either be good or evil. And I feel like that's where Rey lives as well. So if you were kind of missing that from The Rise of Skywalker and from the entire trilogy, then I feel like Ninth House is going to be really perfect for you. It has so many interesting characters. I love Alex as a main character, and I also love Darlington, and he's just such an interesting character as well. And there's so many interesting and different and strange things that happen within Ninth House that I feel like if there are some things that didn't really sit well with you in The Rise of Skywalker, you're going to find them done better here in Ninth House. So I definitely recommend this book as well. Alright, so I hope that that helped you guys at all, even a little bit. If you also have some recommendations for books, I've seen them floating around on Twitter, but a lot of them are ones I haven't read yet. So if you guys have any other recommendations, let me know in the comments down below because I would love to read them. Also, be sure to tell me what you thought about The Rise of Skywalker. So please, in the comments down below, let me know what you thought of it. Even if you hated it, let me know your thoughts and feelings, and I would definitely be interested in hearing them. And if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Also, go ahead and follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Goodreads, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!